Showtime! The Capital G Show starts right now.
What's up YouTube, Capital G here. So what you guys are looking at is the 4th place deck from YCS, Austin, Texas. It was ran by a duelist named Alex. I did not catch his last name. You can probably find that in Team Slim X Symmetry's channel. I know he did a deck profile with the guy. So this is Frog Monarchs, and let's go into the deck list before we talk about the deck in detail. He ran 2 Light and Darkness Dragon, 2 Chaos. He has 3 copies of Riser, Dark Dust Spirit, Genzo, 3 copies of Swap Frog, 3 Treeborn Frog, Ronin, Tonin, and Gorge. He has Tragodia, 2 Veiler, 3 copies of Max C, 3 Battle Fader, 3 Enemy Controller, 3 Soul Exchange, 2 Pot of Duality, the Trinity of Heavy Storm, Monsterborn, Dark Hole, MST, Foolish Burial. Alright, so first off, I noticed he only ran a minimal Frog Engine, 3 Treeborns, the Swaps, and the Rodent Tone. He didn't run multiple Rodents, he didn't run Dupe Frog or anything like that. Those cards really work best with Lancer. And Lancer's a fine card and everything, but it can be a little slow, a little underpowered. And if somebody removes Lancer from the field and it blocks up your back row, you can really have some problems. I like the fact that he ran 3 copies of Soul Exchange. Not only does this really help against things like Doka, which can just auto win against your deck, but it gets monsters like Abyss Gyos off the field, and you know, it just serves as monster removal, especially in turns where you use Soul Exchange and then Tribute for Lad. I mean, your opponent is in a horrible position. You know, Ryza is a card that I do think can be, it can be slow at times. He even said that. I think it can be really slow against the Mermaid matchup because, I mean, outside of Mermaid Bitch, I mean, they don't really set many monsters. And, you know, their back rows are pretty much chainable. So there aren't really any cards that you want to use there. Genzo is a nice addition. I mean, a lot of decks are running a decent amount of traps. You know, you can summon this and you can lock your opponent out from the Abyss Spear. So that's definitely a good play. I really do like the fact that he played multiple Maxis. You know, if you know that going into the event, Mermaids are going to be the #1 deck. I mean, Maxi is just an absolute nuts against them. You can chain it to Abyssius, so you can chain it to Abyss Megalo when they reveal those cards. You can chain it to Abyss Squall, Abyss Spear. You can chain it to the Diva play. So there's a whole bunch of opportunities where you can chain it. And then if you combine that with Battle Faders, you know, you prevent them from being able to do big pushes for them to, you know, get at your life points. And then next turn you can like Dark Dust Spirit them. Dark Dust Spirit actually puts in a whole lot of work against that deck. So, you know, people will overextend when you maxi thinking that you don't have any outs or whatever, and then you can just Battle Fader them. And outside of Solemn Warning and like Doka, I mean, there are a ton of ways to stop Battle Fader. Now, Lad is a card he only ran 2 of. He said that he felt like 3 Lad can be a little inconsistent. It can clog. And since he's not maxing out on Ronin Tonins, I mean, maybe that's true for him. I do feel like Lad is still one of the best cards in the deck because, I mean, Mermaids really struggle to get this off. I mean, if they have to start pitching cards, they don't get any of their effects because Lad will just start negating them. And it's just a really good card in just about every matchup in Yu-Gi-Oh! So, you know, maybe Lad is a card you might want to max out on. You know, he ran the 2 copies of Duality, which generally can conflict with Treeborn Frog, but then you have the Soul Exchanges to just back that up. And, you know, Soul Exchange with a Caius or a Ryza, you know, it's one of those things where you can go with a turn without special summoning, especially if you go, you know, Pot of Duality into like a good card and then you Soul Exchange for like Light and Darkness Dragon. I mean, you don't really lose any of your speed. So overall, I feel like, you know, Monarchs are definitely a deck to keep your eye on. You know, I do feel like this guy probably had to side really heavy for the Mermaid matchup because, you know, cards like Ryza aren't really doing anything against that match. And the deck can actually struggle with Fire Fist because, you know, they get at your life points very, very easily. And if I'm a Fire Fist player, I'm going to try to make Abyss Dweller very, very quickly. But, you know, considering he ran the Soul Exchanges, that's one of the big things about this deck. This deck doesn't struggle against Abyss Dweller like Lancer Frogs does because he has Battle Faders. So, you know, he can summon those if you try to attack. He has the Soul Exchanges. So that is actually one of the things that helps him in that matchup. So let me know what you guys think. I think it's pretty cool that Frog Monarchs topped. I think the deck can flourish in a lot of different formats. You know, just like you said, you have to change the tributes to fit the speed of the format and to fit the matchups of the format. You know, Thestalos might actually be a really good card right now because of, you know, because of the Mermaid deck. Because, you know, Ryza is a card that doesn't put in a lot of work, but Thestalos is actually pretty good. People aren't playing a lot of Dark World. So tell me what you guys think. Click the like button and play a children's card game like a boss. Subscribing makes life happy.